Hey, this is Chris with Grease and Gears TV, and we're going to take a look at the Sifton oil pump tonight, installing the Sifton oil pump on an old Pinhead, but it's not happening in the Grease and Gears garage.
Shop Talk Tech Tips are brought to you by S&S, proven performance for the power sports industry.
We're actually in Wayne, Michigan. We're working with Steve Broyles at Stevenson Cycle, and we're going to go over all the reasons you might want to change out your old cast iron oil pump from a Pinhead and move up to some more modern capabilities, both in volume and in options of the Sifton oil pump. So let's check it out. Finally got to come into the hollowed halls of Stevenson Cycle in the Detroit metro area for how long? How many years?
Here, 53 years. Originally in Garden City, Michigan. We were on Middle Belt Road. That's where all of this started, believe it or not, in a small 400 square foot building behind my parents' house.
We've got the oil pump laid out right now, and we're using a Sifton oil pump, 41 to 72. So it looks like it does real well. It's just a replacement bolt-on oil pump. It's a lot better. It works a lot better. It's a little more modern style pump that's going to go on here. Looks real good. Even though they come assembled in the box, I'll take them apart, lube them, make sure that the keyway is in where it goes. When I take these apart, I always take them apart. This guy goes back on like that. This guy goes back on like that. Just in case there's any lapping that was done for the gears. You can mark them if you like. Okay, a little Sharpie, bing, bing, put a mark on them. And this guy's got a little bit of drag going in here. You can feel it, okay? So let's take them apart and find out why. We found that we have a damaged seal in here, and I'm going to take this apart and pull it out and see if I can go find my seal press and put a new seal in it and then get started with the install on this pump. Now what we have done is we've upgraded, and we're going to upgrade. This year motor used to come with what they called a 25.5. That was a 25 tooth drive gear and a 5 tooth pinion shaft drive gear, 5 tooth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we're going to go get a 6 tooth to match up with this 24 tooth. And we got a new oil seal put in, installed. I used a Jim's tool to install this Jim's seal. Now we marked them so that we knew they went in, right? So they went in because that's the way they came out. One of the trickiest woodruff keys to ever play with you, right here. A little bit of oil on things, including my hands and everything else. We let them tilt just a little bit. There they slide, there you go. Oh yeah, much nicer. Keeping the woodruff key in place. So that, let's throw this guy in here like that. And we'll put this guy in over here like that. Okay, so now we're ready to go back together and slide into the, and it's a lot easier to move, man. I was really happy that I decided to stop, turn that, see what it's like. Well, some people put these on dry, some people put them on wet. I usually spray them with a little tack. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go spray that, and that's how it's going to go on there, just like that. Huh? What do you think of that idea? Looks like every hole is covered, maybe even the ones that are not. Huh? Looks pretty good to me. And believe it or not, even though you got pins in here that are aligning everything, it still doesn't hurt to have the bolt holes on. Okay, so let's just give it a shot here. Lighter, ready to do. It's got a pretty big hole in it back here. Do you see this, where that shaft goes back into it? That would be one thing that I'm not happy with, this right here. This doesn't have to be this depth. It doesn't have to be any deeper than that, but because it's got this big deep hole, if I reach in there and push this shaft, it wants to come way out, okay? And what'll happen is we could lose one of our woodruff keys. Not by all means you wouldn't, but this one could get jammed in or something like that, and it would not be a good deal, okay? This guy in. One of the deal is here. Should be able to reach in there and just roll that over with your thumb without any type of real drag. And I mean, you can feel the fact that it's dry. You know, you can feel that happening. There's no doubt about that. But it shouldn't be like, man, I can crank this over. Well, it'll break in. Well, no, what's going to happen is you're going to grind away at the aluminum, and the aluminum's going to be right into your motor. And that's what's going to happen. So if you just take your time, move the pump a little bit sometimes. That's why I got my trusty little, you know, sometimes you just have to knock them a little bit here or there. Just to kind of give them a little bit of who's boss. And you notice that I didn't put any type of Loctite on anything yet.
All right, that's about all the time we have tonight. Of course, from here, we go through the whole torque sequence so you can get right out of the manual. But very cool thing that we're doing here, this whole, you know, we're calling it Pinhead 101, and it's an entire introspective on the Pinhead motor, rebuilding. You know, these things become more rare all the time. Steve Broyles has been there from the very beginning with this series, and it's some great content. You can find it on our YouTube channel. Go check it out at Cycle Source.